You are listening to Thrival Nutrition Podcast, episode 67. Welcome to the Thrival Nutrition Podcast with me as your host, Lahana Vigliano. We talk all things holistic living, real food nutrition, fitness, herbs, essential oils, and so much more. I'm here to make your holistic lifestyle simple, easy, and fun for you and your family. I am beyond thrilled that you are here. So let's go over and hop over to today's episode. Happy Tuesday! Whew. Oh my gosh, this week has been crazy. So we left last weekend to come here to Texas, and it was such a fun adventure. I'm actually going to probably make a video of it. I made sure that the camera was charged and that, we just brought the camera with us, and it's just a really exciting time. Like, we are literally birds leaving our nest. Even though, we've kind of already left our nest and we don't live at our parents' house, and it's been that way for a couple of years, but moving to a different state, it's just, when we have no friends and family over there yet, and, we'll make friends, but it was fun. It was exciting. So we're just busy trying to unpack and get everything set up because the kids come back next week, and we're so excited because I'm hoping that, this move is really easy and smooth for them, because they're literally going to come, my parents are bringing them. They spent the last couple weeks with them. They're coming and they're going to be like, whoa, my room is like in a new house. That's just kind of the vibe I want to bring to the kids. So I'm super excited to just, introduce them. So we're going to try to get some adulting done this week of like stuff to explore, maybe that we can't do when we have the kids, and really just settle down. And so my sister-in-law leaves tomorrow because she helped us drive, because I just can't drive in a car for long distance without having to switch. So she was a big help. So she's flying back tomorrow, and we'll just do adulting stuff. So it's been really exciting over here, and I'm so thankful for you guys to be with us on our journey, and you'll be hearing awesome stuff. So if you're in Austin too, let's connect. I'd love to. Today, though, on the podcast, we have Ashlee, and she is awesome. She's a nutrition consultant, and what we're talking about today is perfect for the season. We are talking about healthy traveling, how to be healthy, kind of how to stay in your routine, not all the way, obviously, because you're on vacation, but maybe talking about splurging and the mindset to have with that, being okay, eating healthy snacks, sleep, staying on your exercise game, even though you're on vacation. She was fantastic and so fun to talk to. So we had a ball, and I'm hoping that some of these tips you can take throughout the summer, whether you're vacationing or going to see family, whatever you're doing, you can take these tips and use them, because I promise they have made, I'm sure with Ashlee, she travels and she's so happy, and she's not feeling like she's falling out of her routine or just constantly eating unhealthy when she's gone. And same with us as a family, we feel really good on vacation, and we don't feel guilty, even if we splurge, or we don't feel guilty if we do a day without exercise, even though it's really hard to do. We will do that even when we're traveling and on vacation, but we give you tips on how you can too. So it's a really great episode, and please, if you have not already, couple things: leave a rating and review on iTunes if you have an iPhone. That is a big help, because this helps our podcast reach out to more people. And I know I am so guilty with listening to podcasts and just not leaving a review. I'm guilty of doing that. But please, if you could, just take a couple minutes and do that. And then 2, if you have not joined our Facebook group, go see us in there. I'm loving it. I'm loving the vibe. I love the non-judgy vibe, because you can find plenty of judgy Facebook groups on Facebook, but we are making sure that ours is not one of them. So it's a really safe place to come to ask health questions, nutrition, exercise. We cover anything, natural, holistic living. So go there. It's specifically mostly for families, because we're trying to help parents create that lifestyle and answer those questions for their kids, and just, to be a healthy family. So it'll be in the show notes to go it'll link over to Facebook group, and then you will just request it, and then I'll add you. Okay. So, let's go over to today's episode with Ashlee. You are going to love it. Hi, Ashlee. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast this week. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm very glad that you're here, because I know that, this topic we're going to talk about being healthy while traveling, it's the beginning of June. So I was like, you're probably the perfect person to talk about it. So go ahead and introduce yourself. Let our listeners know who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so I'm Ashlee and I'm a certified nutrition consultant. I graduated from Bauman College just in October of 2016, so I'm a new graduate and I do meal plans, recipe creating, pantry clean out, all sorts of different services that basically empower people who have newfound allergies or have kids that have allergies that don't exactly know which step to take next. I try to bridge that gap.
Awesome.
So, other than that, I work in my community and teach a lot of classes and just try to educate the community on clean eating and clean living.
Awesome. Yeah, I love doing that too. Like I did that a couple of times with my clients of just clean out pantries. And it's so crazy because maybe it's just because we know what we know and we're kind of in the field. It's just crazy to me that some people like still buy certain things and I don't know. It's just insane. I'm like, oh my gosh, I wouldn't even think to buy that. But it's so weird because we're in the field. This is what we do. We live, eat, and breathe it. I'm sure you understand.
Oh, exactly. Sometimes I go to the store and I'm like, they still make this?
Yeah, exactly. So talking about healthy travel, because it's summertime and there's just so many people traveling and they're just going on vacations and going to see family. So we'll start talking about what problems do people have when they travel? What are some things that people face?
So the biggest question I get asked from my clients and then just some of my followers on social media is what the heck am I supposed to eat when I'm in an airport, when I'm on the plane, when I get in really late? Should I eat? Should I not eat? And so basically it's just this problem of the unknown, and that's where I like to just come in and just say, like, it's okay if you land at 3 a.m. and you're hungry, have a little snack. Obviously don't eat a full-size steak and potatoes, but have some nuts or have an apple with some nut butter. Just something so your metabolism isn't like, what is happening? So just not being so worried about what you can and can't eat, but having the snacks in your purse be healthy, or having the snacks in your bag if you're a guy. Just having those be healthy, so whatever you do grab, it's going to be a good choice.
Yeah, I know that when we're traveling, and I think it's the mom in me maybe that like I'm just always prepared, but it's like food and just so many things that we do. I would say like essential oils. I mean, there's so many things that we do to live try to live naturally that like I pack, and I mean, there's so many things that come up when you're traveling because you're away from home, but just being prepared is key. And I know we're going to get into some things that we can do to help be prepared while we travel. So give us your top 5 favorite healthy snacks to travel with.
Okay, so my top 5 favorite healthy snacks would definitely be a lot of fresh food. So I always bring apples, and the TSA people think I'm crazy, but I'll bring apples. I'll bring mixed nuts. I'll make my own trail mix. I bring tea bags. That sounds weird, but just different immune boosting tea bags, because a lot of the ones that you can get on the plane or a lot of the ones in the airport, they're in bleached bags and the tea's been irradiated and all sorts of things. So the apples, the nuts, the tea bags. I always bring little energy bites, or I'm sure everyone has seen those energy balls going around, and there's so many different flavors you can make of those. And then I love to bring just some kind of shredded meat. So whether that's chicken or some fish, just some kind of real protein, because we all can get sick of snacky foods very easily.
Yes, I would say some of my top ones are Epic bars. Those are just awesome because those are the meat, the protein that you need. And they don't really stink as bad. Like if when you open it, like I never want to be the person on the plane that like, I don't know, stinks up the plane with my food. Which most of the time, like even like just bringing fish like you said, most of the time it doesn't. But Epic bars are some of my favorites, and hard-boiled eggs. And I know that if you're on a plane, you can't bring or liquid has got to be like in a container, like if you bring it on beforehand. But I know there's like a lot of like hummus and vegetables as well, like after you check in and after you go through security, that you could buy and bring on the plane. I know we did that one time too. And then Lar bars. I'm obsessed with Lar bars. They're awesome. So those are kind of our favorite healthy snacks that we do. I know that you mentioned tea bags, which is a really, really good idea because you're right. Most of the tea bags just aren't ideal and they're just not good quality tea. Give us some more tips on like staying healthy when we're using that public transportation, like airplanes and buses, because, you know, so many people are there and sneezing and touching everything.
I know there's so many different germs floating around.
Yeah.
So some of my top little hacks for traveling when you're around all these people, around people who may be sick, around different germs, and even when you're in different places, there could be different pollen floating around that could be confusing your immune system. So I have some immune boosting foods that I wanted to talk about, and I'm not going to talk about vitamin C. Everyone knows vitamin C is good for you, so I'm just going to leave that one out. You can Google it, but I wanted to look a little bit at iron-rich foods. So iron-rich foods would be meat, seafood, cruciferous vegetables like cauliflower or broccoli or carrots, legumes, and there are several other different sources of iron. But what's so cool about iron is that it actually makes vitamin C more effective in your body. So after you do your research on the vitamin C, just also think, okay, pair this with iron and it's going to be even more effective. And the parts of the vitamin C that may not have been useful in my body are going to be even more useful when I take it with this iron food. And then, as I was talking about with the meat, if you cook your meat in cast iron pans or even roast your vegetables or cook them in a cast iron pan, that's going to raise the levels of iron in the food. And so that's just a little easy switch to make from the ceramic or glass, which are good options, but just using the cast iron.
Mm-hmm.
And then talking about iron, just while I'm on this subject, that's one of those supplements that you want to be very careful with. So that's when I always tell my clients that they should not supplement unless they have consulted with their doctor first, because if you're supplementing and you already have enough iron, that could be not good. Or if you're not supplementing and you need iron, that could be not good. So it's just one of those you don't really mess with.
Yes, I'm so glad you mentioned that. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you mentioned that, because not a lot of people know. And there are some good vitamins, like multivitamins out there, that actually don't have iron in them for that reason, because you should be tested and know your iron levels before you ever supplement with it.
Exactly, yeah. So that's a huge takeaway for today. Don't supplement with iron unless you know you need it.
Yeah, exactly. Do you use like essential oils or anything?
Yeah, so I always have peppermint and orange and lemon essential oils on me. I get the little smaller bottles for when I travel, and if they're true essential oils that are the organic, pure oils, then you can actually add them with an oil and rub it on your skin, or you can add it to water. And so I'll sometimes do that if I just need a little bit of refreshment while I'm on the plane.
Yeah, I love essential oils. I think one of the aromatherapists that I interviewed said something about, like, you know, putting in cotton ball and then putting a couple drops in it. Or they even have like those really cool, they're pretty much cotton, but they kind of look like a tampon, I think. But it's like where you can just sniff it instead of, like, you know, bringing the whole bottle. But you put a couple drops and that will help, like, if you're on the plane. I know some people do that to, like, kind of for extra immunity or just protection. And then also for, you know, if you get nauseous, you know, with motion. I know I do that all the time. I just use the bottle, but I just have it up in my nose when I'm traveling, like peppermint. And I remember the flight attendant was like, "Is that peppermint?" Like, she totally knew what I was doing.
That's awesome.
And then going on vacation, obviously fitness is, you know, a big part. And it's natural for me to, and my husband too, to just work out even when we're on vacation. We love it. But some people it could be a struggle for. So what are some things that people can bring or people can do while on vacation and still, like, get a workout in, especially if they don't, like, have a gym at the hotel?
Yeah, so that's a great question because a lot of people, like you said, you and myself, I love to work out. It's a form of self-love, and I just love it. Just makes me feel good. And so I'm always one of those that's like up at 6 a.m. on vacation, like working out. But if I'm in a place like Hawaii, then I'm not going to be in the gym per se. I'm going to be outside going on a walk. So just really gearing your workouts towards where you are. If you're in a cold place, obviously, well, me at least, I don't want to be outside in the cold. So going to the gym and, but just respecting your body and knowing that it went through a time change and it may be tired. So even if it takes 1 or 2 days to get into your normal workout routine again, just respecting that. But good workouts, I like to do it. I'll bring TheraBands with me. So they're like the resistance bands. You could literally tie those around your legs on the airplane and do like leg workouts. People might look at you weird, but who cares? You'll probably never see them again. I'll sometimes go to the back of the plane and just do like calf raises or just stretch just to get my lymphatic system flowing. And one of my favorite workouts when I'm on vacation is just to go walk around and just like check out the neighborhoods where I am or the beaches or go for a little run. And then you can always do like the little in hotel room workouts if you get some paper plates or even just like pieces of paper, put your feet on them, do mountain climbers, do all those little paper plate workouts if you YouTube, and there's so many. It's so creative. But yeah, I would say the TheraBands are a good one. And then they even have like those little, you can strap them around your ankles, the little ankle weights, and you can bring those just to get a little extra workout in.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely agree with like wherever you're going, just like kind of make your workout around that, because most of the time when people go on vacation, it's either like, you know, we're skiing and snowboarding, it's in the winter and like go do that. Or yeah, if you're going to Hawaii or somewhere beachy and tropical, like go on the beach, you know, try out surfing, I don't know. But going on hikes, especially if you're like in a really beautiful place like Hawaii, oh my gosh, a hike, I would just die. That would just be amazing. And that way you're also like getting the vitamin D, which will help your immune system, and then you're getting exercise. So I love that. What brands did you say that you use for resistance bands?
I actually don't know what brand it is. So I'm a ballet dancer, and so they're made by a dancer company.
Okay.
Should look it up, and then I can send you that information once I get it. But there's different ones. So there's like a low resistance, medium resistance, and high resistance, and it's just basically the thickness of the bands. Yeah. And I don't know if they're called TheraBands or if the brand is TheraBand, but TheraBand is what I use. So that may actually be the brand. Yeah,
that's the brand because okay, they're normally just called like resistance bands, but those are really, and they're easy to pack. Like you said, like you could even like please don't do this. People look at you, but like headbands, like they're just so small and like, yeah, wrap them around your leg, put them in your bag, throw them in your purse. They're just really easy to bring. And I agree. They're like one of my favorite, easy, lightweight things to bring, even like in a car ride. But yeah, getting moving is much necessary. So I know that you mentioned that splurging and just being okay with, you know, eating things that you may not eat all the time because you're on vacation, of course, and they're going to happen. What can we do about it, like when we get home? Like how can we recover from it?
Okay, yeah, so this is a huge one. I always love to tell anyone who asks me that eating clean and like eating a healthy lifestyle is not a case of being enslaved to this food, or I have to eat this way, or I have to work out. It should be a desire and an honor, and it should also not be a burden for when you go out. So when we travel, I'm one of those like diehards. I don't really like have the desire to go out and eat a big fat burger or whatever, but if I ever did, it would be okay because I know when I got home that I would have a pantry filled with clean foods and I would have local produce and I would just get right back into my routine. So I like to tell people when they're on vacation, a safe and healthy way to eat when you're out is just to eat the local food. Like a lot of places that aren't America, they eat pretty healthy. They have tons of fish and they have tons of animal products that are local to their area and produce that's grown right there. Even if you go to California, like if you're getting all of their produce, it's grown right there and it's in the sun all the time and it's nurtured, and then that's going to feed your body. So just going out to local restaurants and drinking lots of water, I'm like totally in like tropical mindset gear right now, if you can't tell.
I can tell.
I'm a tropical girl. I lived in Kauai, so I just am thinking of Kauai. But for instance, we went to Jackson Hole, and obviously you don't want to drink a bunch of smoothies while you're there. So we went to a co-op and we stocked up on local meats and some more winter veggies like root vegetables, sweet potatoes, carrots, turnips, different things like that, and bone broth. But if you do go out and have that burger, just understanding that one bad meal, or bad meal in quotes, isn't going to make or break you, just like one good meal isn't going to. That's like a famous little quote that goes around. But
That's
just because
awesome.
you have that burger doesn't mean you can't eat clean for the rest of the day. Or even if you don't eat clean for the whole day, it doesn't mean you can't eat clean the next day. And so just not being hard on yourself, because that stress can be worse than the food itself.
Oh
And
my gosh, yes.
yeah, and then the second part is just when you get home, having, like I said, a clean pantry and knowing that you're going to have clean snacks that you can get there, and you know your grocery store is at home, and you know that you'll have water, and you know that you won't have to worry about where you're going to eat next. So just keeping a clean pantry, that will be setting you up for success when you get home.
Definitely. And I think maybe it's because, like I said, like I'm a mom and I look into these things. But if you can, and I know this might be a little bit more pricier, but it's so worth it if you can find a place to stay that has a kitchen. And we love doing that because we're a family, and I hate going out to eat all the time, even when we're on vacation. I love most of the time just cooking breakfast, like bacon and eggs and our kale and things like that. So if you can like stay in a place when you're traveling with a kitchen, that helps a ton, because then you can go grocery shopping and get those local meats and stuff, and just like cook. I don't know, when people go on vacation, I feel like they feel like, oh, I have to go out to eat. But you don't. You can still stay on like your diet, especially if you have allergies and you really can't splurge or something. Just find that place. We love it. Do you ever do that? Find like places with kitchens instead of like a hotel room?
Absolutely. That's for me, that's like a given, so I didn't even think about that. But yes, we always get a place with a kitchen because, like you said, allergies. I can't have wheat, even a tiny bit, like at all. And my husband can't have dairy, and so sometimes it's easier than going out and being like, do you know what wheat is? And people are like, what's a celiac? And so they just don't understand. So just, having that kitchen is so nice, because also like if places are super full or if nothing sounds good, you can go to your little condo and have a kitchen. And
Yes.
You said it's a little bit more expensive, but I think that it ends up being a much cheaper option, like, because you said if not, you go out to eat, and eating out is expensive.
It really does. It really does even out, I think. And it's really not like if you use Airbnb, like there's some really affordable places we found that has a kitchen and stuff that is seriously the same amount of money for a hotel room. Like,
That's awesome.
It's never been like, oh, it's $100 more. Like we've felt like we've found pretty comparable prices.
That's so good.
And then the last topic is sleep. And I know that, being on vacation or being in a new place, you're always eager just to be like out and about, but can you tell us the importance of making sure that you get enough sleep even though you're on vacation?
Absolutely. So sleep is a very prized thing in our house. We go to bed at like 8 o'clock at night. I'm not even kidding you. We're like grandparents and we're only 21 years old. But my husband works super early in the morning, so that's also why. But when you're on vacation, I'm not saying it's more important to sleep, but it almost is, because your body's undergoing so many different changes that it's not used to, that little extra sleep is really going to make a huge difference in your day. So if you're in a cold climate and it's darker and it's cold, you're going to sleep a little bit more than if you're in Kauai, where it's the exact same climate and the sun goes up and down at the exact same time each day. But when it is sunny out, you just want to be outside and getting all the sun. But just knowing that usually when you're on vacation, you're doing things that you don't normally do at home. So like you said, maybe you're snowboarding, maybe you're hiking, maybe you're out in the sun all the time when you're not used to it. And those things can be draining to our body. And not only that physical stress, but the internal stress that comes from the different allergens and from just maybe traffic, or just your body always being in that fight or flight mode. And just coming home and having that time to relax and get some sleep is super important. And there are several reasons I say that, because if we don't have adequate sleep, our hormones are going to get out of balance, like the serotonin, the melatonin, and then when you get home, it's harder to sleep. And then not to mention, sleep is a huge catalyst just for overall health. you must have sleep to live. You must have sleep to wake up in the morning and have energy. And so I think that if you want to have like the best vacation or the best work trip even that you can, just making sure you get some sleep so you have energy the next day to do the events you want to do, to hang out with your kids, to hang out with your spouse, or whatever that is. And people always will say like, oh, I just go home and have a drink and that will put me to bed. And I'm not against that at all. But if you don't like alcohol, kava is another option. And so it kind of calms your body down in a more natural way than sedating it per se, like alcohol, or sleepy time tea, or GABA, which is it helps just regulate out your hormones, or melatonin, magnesium. Those are just a few of my little sleep tricks.
There's one by, I think, Yogi Tea. I'm pretty sure it's by that one, but it's called Kava Stress Support, and it's amazing. I've been living off it because we're just in a phase in life right now that everything's kind of like, I don't know, stressful. So we've been living off that tea, and it helps so much. That's actually like kind of, I knew about kava, but I never really took it until I drank the tea. And there's other ingredients in it, like ginger and lemon balm and other things. But I felt like that was one of the only ingredients I've never really, had before in supplement or tea-wise. And I felt such a difference drinking it. It was amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah. And another thing with sleep, too, is like, if you want to stay healthy and your immune system, be working on its prime, like sleep. Sleep is like one of the best things for your immune system. So share with people where they can find you. What's your website? Where are you at on social media? Do you see clients that are virtual? Let us know.
Yeah, so my little business is called Simplistic. I guess I chose the most difficult name to spell. So it's the word simple without the E and then holistic. So it all kind of flows together. And I have my blog, which is simplistic.org. And there I post blog posts for recipes, clean eating guides if I go to Portland, or if I go to Texas, or if I go to Mexico or whatever. And then I also just do basic lifestyle blog posts. So just like how we're talking right now, I would do this in the form of a blog post. Then I also do nutrition consulting. So I meet with clients virtually, and I will do one-on-one consultations. I'll do meal plans, whether they're just generic or therapeutic. I have a lot of cancer clients. And I'm on social media. I'm on Instagram as Simplistic, Pinterest, Facebook, and they're all Simplistic. And those are just great ways to get free little recipes and recommendations of brands. And yeah, I love to do speaking as well. I do freelance writing, and I would love to do some more speaking at conferences. I've done a little bit of that. So just getting out and really educating people is what my passion is. So any way I can do that, I love.
That's awesome. Where are you based out of?
Oh, yeah. So I'm in Spokane, Washington. I moved here a little less than 2 years ago. I'm originally from Alaska. So Spokane is our new little home. This is where me and my husband got married last summer.
Oh, that's awesome. I've never been, but I do want to go. I heard it's really beautiful up there. I have a friend in Alaska too. And it's just crazy how far Alaska is. I didn't realize how close it was to like Russia until I looked. I was like, let me just see, because like I'm from Florida, so when we were in Florida, it was like, I don't know, such a big time difference. I'm like, you are so far away.
Yeah, it really is. It's literally only, not from where I live, but from the farthest west point in Alaska is only 64 miles from Russia.
That's insane. It's literally on like the other side of the world. I think if you look at the world in a sphere shape. But yeah, I was like, I looked at the little water space in between like Alaska and like the next continent, and I was like, I feel like you could swim there.
That's so awesome.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It was really fun to chat with you. All the links that she mentioned will be in the bio. You can go check it out. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Safe travels.
Bye-bye, everybody in the podcast.
The contents of this podcast are for educational purposes only. This information is not intended to replace a one-on-one relationship with a qualified healthcare professional, and it is not intended for medical advice. This is the sharing of knowledge and information from education, research, and experience. I am not a registered dietitian or physician. I encourage you to make your own healthcare decisions based on your research and partnership with a healthcare professional. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next week.